Hello, and welcome to the Dutchess County Fair Legacy of Agriculture and Community, a podcast dedicated to celebrating the people, farms, and traditions that make agriculture such an important part of the lives here in Dutchess County and beyond. I'm your host, Suzanne Rajczi, a 25-year member of the Dutchess County Agricultural Society, a food service industry leader, community advocate, and passionate supporter of local agriculture. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of working closely with farmers and producers and food service professionals who are all committed to quality, sustainability, and community. This podcast is a way of shining a spotlight on agriculture and community and the incredible stories. In this episode of A Legacy of Agriculture and Community, we shine a spotlight on Stormfield Swiss Farm and the incredible DeForest Lawrence family, whose dedication to dairy farming has helped shape the agriculture fabric of Dutchess County and beyond. We explore the farm's rich history, their commitment to quality milk production, and their long-standing connection to the Dutchess County Fair, a place where agriculture, education, and community come together. From caring for their cows to engaging the next generation of farmers, Stormfield Swiss Farm represents the values that keep local agriculture thriving today. This is a story about family, resilience, and the deep roots that connect farms to the communities they serve. Jen, welcome, and thank you for being part of our premier podcast series, A Legacy of Agriculture and Community. So can you tell us a little bit about the Stormfield Swiss Farm and how it all began and who the founders of the farm are and what inspired them to start a dairy operation?
Sure. So Jim and I met and we decided we wanted to buy our first brown Swiss together. I had a Swiss when I was younger that my parents gave me one year for Christmas, but unfortunately she didn't have any heifers. So once we started to date, we decided to buy a cow together. And all of these, most of them are offspring of her. We've bought a few in between here and there. We worked for a farm in Millbrook at first for 7 years, and we built our herd up when we were there. Mm-hmm. So this was my great-grandparents' farm, Knapp Farm. It started in 1927, and they milked cows here. And then when my great-grandfather was 97, he passed away, and Glenn Metzger had worked here as a kid, and he wanted to keep the farm going. So he did a lot of updates in the barn, new stalls. The cows are on memory foam mattresses. They're spoiled. He always said, whenever you're ready, come back. So the time was right in 2007, and April 1st of 2007, we came here and started milking on our own and shipped our first load of milk 2 days later.
That's really an incredible story. You start dating and then you decide to buy a cow together. I think that's an interesting pitch on, hey, do you want to date and buy a cow together? I kind of like that. I like that. But when you talk about the actual, you said that, you were putting your herd together and the brown Swiss. Talk to me a little bit about that specific breed of cattle, because I'm dangerously knowledgeable, but I find it to be so fascinating. They're referred to as the gentle giants. They're producers, I do believe, of high quality milk. But why brown Swiss, and talk to me about you building that breed here.
So actually, I grew up with a Holstein cow. Mm-hmm. And I shouldn't say I don't love one cow more than the other, because that'd be like saying I love one kid more than the other, and that's not true. The Holstein's going to give you the most volume of milk, but I also want flavor. Mm-hmm. So when I refer to the colored breeds, that's the brown Swiss, the Ashers, and the Guernseys that we have that add the extra butter, fat, and protein. And the quality of milk comes along with the care. So you have to make sure they're clean, their beds are clean, your milk house equipment is clean, and all of that. As long as you have a happy cow, she's going to make quality milk. But the attitude-wise, you're not going to get a nicer big old puppy dog than a brown Swiss. They'll just look at you when you walk in the barn in the morning, and they know you're, the Holstein, and she's kind of like, I'm here for my job. Just come milk me and like leave me alone. But also, I will say this. It's how their environment is that makes their attitude. People will come in and like tell their kids, don't run around the barn, you're gonna scare the cows. I say run around that barn because my kids run around that barn. They scream, they play, the cows are so used to people. If you were to go in someone else's farm, and I'm not knocking how everybody has their different ways of farming, but there's not many cows that are gonna be as calm as these cows. And I'm proud of that because there's people that come to the fair and they'll say, we're just coming to see your cows. And boy, like, you're like, wow, there's how many thousands of people that come to the fair and they're saying, we're coming just to see you because your cows are that calm. It makes you feel good.
It certainly does. Tell me about how many cows you're milking here today, and just talk a little bit about kind of that, the pipeline of the breeding, and you talked about the crossbreeding and why you're doing it, and why is that relevant? Why is that important in dairy farming?
So the crossbreed of the Brahma and the brown Swiss came about because Jim saw a big Brahma Holstein steer somewhere.
Big.
And his head was, the size. And he's just like, we have these two cows that are twin sisters. Let's just play with genetics. So we got one steer and one heifer. The steer will probably live here his whole life and just happy. And she's going to be crazy. She's already jumped into the other pens. But we'll breed her back. And how cool is it going to be to look in the barn and see a big old flop-eared cow with a hump on her back next to all these other pedigreed ones,
Right.
Believe me, we're not going to crossbreed the whole herd. This was just something to have fun with, and you got to do that once in a while.
And milk production on that?
We'll find out.
Okay. We haven't started to milk yet. That's great. So, we talked about generation and, this being your family, grandfather's farm. And, you shared with me a little bit about your family and how you have them involved in seems like every aspect of the farming. I know that they show cattle, et cetera. But why do you, speak to me maybe a little bit as to how it shaped and complemented the farm, and how, I don't want to say how enriching that has been to the lives of your children.
Absolutely. So the kids are in 4-H. They've just started FFA in their high school. They didn't have...
And FFA is?
Future Farmers of America. Being in Hudson Valley Fresh, we've had many visits from, say, the Commissioner of Agriculture was here. We've had companies from New York City that want to possibly buy our milk. So all these different people that have been here through the years, Jenna and Justin have seen them and talked to them, and it shaped them. And I always say, if we are not successful in milking cows, our kids have had a tremendous, they've never would have had these opportunities to speak the way they do. Jenna's president of FFA now. She's president of our 4-H club. Justin's following, but his sister has pretty big shoes. So one day he'll be there, but right now it's her time to be in charge. And they've definitely benefited from 4-H with public presentations.
Right.
They can talk. Justin can talk to anybody.
I've met Justin. He is very outwardly and very communicative. I like that about him.
He's a good...
But, I feel like also it really, the values and the expectation that you've in the farming life or being part of this agriculture community. I mean, it is an experience, a foundational experience that I think that it's a privilege to be part of today. and is it sustainable? And I think we can kind of get to that, the future of farming and what it looks like and generationally down the road. When we were outside just walking in the field, that Andy was talking about technology and how that's impacted farming, and what does it look like futuristically in the next 5 and 10 years. Can you shed any light on that?
Yeah, and I've always brought them up with hard work. Yes, they do their barn chores. They've always gone to the barn with us right from since they were born. But I also don't want them to think that they can't go have fun.
Right.
So Justin's away with my dad this weekend. Like, they go places, and I'm so thankful for our community that I can trust to take them, because honestly, we really can't go all the time. And part of you is like, oh, I feel bad, I can't take my kids to Disney World. But at the other part, what kid gets to watch an animal be born? Or on the other hand, they do have to put them in the ground. They've got to see so much stuff, and then being able to go with family and friends just makes them so, hey, I don't want them to hate this for us having them do chores, but I want them to know hard work pays off. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of the other companies, I shouldn't say companies, occupations are going to be looking for the farm kids, because there's not many left. And they know farm kids work, and they can pay them whatever they need to pay them to keep them. So we need to think about what can we do to keep them as well. It's a tough thing, right? My last milk truck was $16 100. It's taking over 25 to produce it. So how do you expect them to want to take it on? Granted, that's why we have Hudson Valley Fresh. But if you don't have Hudson Valley Fresh and you're stuck out in the middle of somewhere trying to pay a mortgage on a farm, and you go from 2 months ago getting 23, 24 to now getting, that's so drastic.
So drastic. That rainy day fund dries up pretty quickly. Absolutely. You've spoken several times about Hudson Valley Fresh. Let's talk a little bit about what that is and what it means to the community and what happens there, and why you're an integral part of supplying the milk to Hudson Valley Fresh.
To be a member of Hudson Valley Fresh, you had to originally be an Agrimark producer, which is Cabot cheese.
Yes.
It's a great co-op. But Hudson Valley Fresh, your milk quality has to be below 200,000 somatic cell, which is the white blood cells in a cow's body. If she's happy and no infections, there's no reason why she won't be under 200,000. The national limit at one time was over 700,000. I mean, to sound gross, probably 1 million is pos. So Hudson Valley Fresh was brought on to reward the local farmer for producing quality milk and giving them the money we need in return to survive. So it was funny, Jim and I always were like, we're never going to be able to be in Hudson Valley Fresh because it costs money to invest in a company, and we don't have that money. So our milk truck came one day, and then another milk truck came back the next day. And I looked at the milk truck driver, I'm like, I don't think you're at the right farm. And he's like, I'm the Hudson Valley Fresh truck. I'm like, yeah, well, that's not us. He's like, you are now. And he would look at our milk tester's computer when the milk tester was testing his cows to check on us. And he saw that we were where we needed to be. And he said, go pick up their milk. And then several years down the road, 14 of us all own it together now. Equal partners.
A cooperative of farms here in Dutchess County and beyond?
There's some in Columbia County. There was a farm in Ulster County. She has since retired, but she still owns in the business with us. And the best thing about it is we're all equal owners. So there might be people that own a huge farm of milk, 600 plus cows. I still get the same amount of money every month from the company so it's beneficial to the small farm. That's what it was meant for, to keep the small farm going. And honestly, we probably wouldn't be here talking if we had it.
Can you kind of share and explain to me the Hudson Valley Fresh? You talk about the quality of the milk. What are those differentiators that make this milk better, preferred? What are those attributes and qualities?
So what separates Hudson Valley Fresh the most is that milk was in my tank, that's in my tank right now, is just 2 days in the tank. And he's pumping, he could be up there right now pumping. And that milk's gonna be in Kingston in 45 minutes? Yes. The distance it's traveling from any farm in Hudson Valley Fresh is a half hour to 45 minutes. And it's turned around and processed, and it's back out on that truck tonight to go to a store. So it's from the farm to a store in less than 36 hours.
So that's an incredible point of differentiation. I did not know that.
And it's, since we all have to have that standard of under 200,000, it doesn't have to be pasteurized for as long. So it's a quick pasteurization, so it's not cooking longer to lose flavor. And when cows are happy, they're producing omega-3s. Everything is just better. And I just want everybody to know there's never antibiotic. When you see ads, antibiotic-free, there's no antibiotics in any milk anywhere, whether it's organic, conventional. If I sent antibiotic milk, I'd be paying for that tractor trailer load of milk. And I certainly don't want to do that.
Right.
We do have insurance for any mistake one time. Who wants to do that? That's not going to be a good day.
No, that isn't.
So it's the local for sure. And it's right back out. And our butter fat is over 4%. So the other milks are probably like 3.5% butter fat. And that difference in the fat makes a huge difference in the taste.
In the flavor and the quality. Absolutely. That's incredible. I wasn't aware of the kind of the turnaround time from milking to consumer. Sounds like could be less than 3 days for.
Oh, for sure. Because it'll be in a store tomorrow morning after it leaves here this afternoon.
A day in the life on the farm. I mean, what does that look like to a viewer, a listener? What does that mean? I mean, share with us a day in the life of Jen here on the farm.
You get up in the morning and
early.
I try to be in the barn by 5:15. The kids, the 2 older ones right now, get to stay in the house because their school starts early. Jason comes with us to the barn, and he has a cot that he goes back to sleep, or he stays awake and runs around and plays.
You shared a fantastic picture of Jason with me, and of him sleeping on a cow. I love that picture.
And you hope when you open the door that everybody's happy and good to go, and then you have to scrape off the manure from the night before and go about running out the barn cleaner. Then I start milking, and Jim does all the feeding. So he'll feed the cows. He'll go out and get more feed for that day.
What do cows eat?
So our cows eat a TMR, it's called. It's a total mixed ration. And in that TMR, there's corn silage, which is fermented corn that was chopped in the fall. Haylage, which is fermented grass. There's hay. And there's also their grain, which we have a nutritionalist come, and he balances their grain off of the quality of our feeds. So
that's a science.
It is.
And do you get your feed, is it stored here or is it delivered?
All of our feed except for the grain is produced here. It's stored. The grain actually comes out of Oneonta, New York, Lute's feed. We used to get grain from Blue Seal and Copate. Chatham. Sorry, I was thinking Chatham. But like anything, those companies have gone out. So it does travel far to get here, but they're a super company. They work so great with us. We're thankful for them. So the cows eat 100 pounds a day, and they also make 100 pounds a day of manure. So the manure needs to go out on the fields. That helps cut our fertilizer costs. The babies get introduced to the TMR, and that's their diet as well. Some people might feed their heifers different, but the way it works out for us, it's best just to feed everybody the same thing. So Jim can make one batch a day, and it gets dispersed amongst the different ones.
Babies drink milk in the beginning,
Yes.
and they're weaned off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
after that, it's 6 a.m. and you're done with your chores, or no? Now the real work begins.
The cows all go out.
Okay.
So they're out right now during the day, and they're in at night because it's cold out. We reverse that in the summer. So they get to go out when it's the coolest time of the day. They're inside with tunnel ventilation, which is bringing fresh air in nonstop. I mean, granted, some days when it's really, really hot, you're bringing hot air in, but at least it's moving. Summertime is when you would make your crops. So that all gets made during the day and the afternoon. And like I said, Jim stays out on the tractor. The kids and I will do chores. It's probably best not to have Jen on a tractor. Justin is doing very well. He's big enough to drive now. And I guess if I'm milking the cows, I don't need to know how to do that, right? It just all works together that way. That's how we've always done it.
But then you have to come back in the afternoon and you start the process again.
Yes.
Do you milk and feed at night as well?
So this time of year, their feed is already put down because they're outside. Okay. So they're eating outside, but then they come in and Jim has their food down. And then in the summer, they go out and eat grass. And also they still get some feed in the bunk outside. So yeah, you have to milk twice a day and clean their beds off and shavings and everything. But the summertime is definitely easier barn chores, but it's more work with hay and all that. And then now it's just this winter, it just seems like it's been chores all day. But
so your work-life balance it's more like farm life balance. Yeah. So, but I can see the joy and the love in your eyes when you talk about everything you're doing. So it warms my heart. So let's just talk a little bit now about the Dutchess County Fair. And you shared some stories with me about the generational commitment that your family's made in showcasing agriculture there at the fairgrounds. And I think, it's just such an interesting story. And as you said about the people and the community and just the public just coming to you and saying, we're here to see your cows, and, how that makes you feel. But talk a little bit about that. How long have you been involved in the fair? You yourself, your father, your grandfather, now your kids, and the showmanship. So share with us.
I guess I could say I've been at the fair my whole life because my parents were, and my grandparents were 4-H leaders. Jim and I are 4-H leaders for Northern Dutchess Dairy. If you have a relative that's in the memorial garden, I think your family's pretty well attached. My grandfather, I had told you he would take the train with some cows to go up. My uncles, I have pictures of them showing in a tent before the show ring was even there, which I can't imagine, like tents and all that kind of stuff. I showed my first calf at the fair in 1988. And then have shown ever since, except for, of course, 2020. We'll forget about that. It's a time where if you don't get goosebumps when you drive by the fair, no matter what time of the year, are you even like an exhibitor or fairgoer? That place just gives me like, and my kids, like Jason will be like, can we go see Vicky? Can we go to the fair? Like, I'm like, yes, we can, but not today. It's freezing out. Like, it's always been in their life because that's the only time they leave the farm with us. You know, they go away with other people, like I said, but we have a camper. We stay up there. Jim will come home and do chores, and my dad will milk. So I don't actually have to come home during fair week. I stay up there with the kids.
So it's a little break for you.
We bring 24 cows.
Not a break for you. You have to milk those cows.
Yes. So like Jim will sometimes be like, you're on vacation. You know, like, it's not. You got to have them all ready for the show ring. You got to have the kids in their white clothes. You got to have everything ready. But you know what? It brings my family together for a week. I have relatives that are not farmers that have shown up there, that come up to work with us. For why? To get exhausted and like
Sleep on a hay bale and get the real experience.
There's a reason why they're coming back every year, because it's tradition. It's connected our family, brought us all together for 1 week out of the year. You make family with other farms that, you know, will be there for you when you need them. It's just, I don't know, I guess I can't imagine our life without the fair.
You have, are there other Hudson Valley milk producers that are there at the fair as well?
The Jacksons, Willowbrook, there's a few different Hudson Valley. So we all get to hang out for the week.
Great. And do you bring a variety of cows, or do you just bring your brown Swiss?
Jenna loves Guernseys. So we actually bought them a Guernsey 10 years ago from Dick Whalen, Friendship Farm.
Yep.
And she's bred them. She's won champion with the Guernseys before. So there usually always has to be a Guernsey with us. And then some Ashers. We try to bring a little mix. It's whatever the 4-H'er decides they want to show, we let them. But I do like to have a lot of brown Swiss up there, so it looks kind of cool.
Cool. They're just stunning. And in 2018, you were awarded the Supreme Champion of the Dutchess County Fair.
That was
like the number one cow at the fairgrounds.
That was definitely
a highlight.
Yeah. You know, the judge, I remember when he judged her, he kind of made some comments that made me think, oh, maybe we have something here. And then when Molly Pulver was reading the thing and she said the brown Swiss, I was just like, so like.
She's a big girl out there. I saw her.
Yeah,
She's pretty incredible. So
it's definitely, you know, people try to get that for years and years and years, and we may never get it again. So we just take it for a while.
And you're awarded that based on the standard of the.
Like he judges each breed for who they are, and then overall picks which one represents the best.
So shifting gears a little bit. I would be remiss in not congratulating you on being the 2025 Dutchess County Fair Farm Family of the Year. Well-deserved, certainly. And I'm sure that there'll be numerous opportunities for you to earn that award again, just in hearing your commitment to the fair. But you're also very engaged and committed to the community and community outreach and education. I've heard a lot about how you go out into the school districts and, you know, do agriculture education. Share with the audience a little bit about what you're doing in the school districts and the response you're getting, and just some of the questions that the students are asking you and their level of interest today.
Yeah. So ag education has to be one of the most important things we could be doing right now, with so many families, generations removed from agriculture. they need to know that that milk is not just in the grocery store. The vegetable, any products have to come from a farm originally. And we need to teach them at a young age before they forget about it. And so a few years back when Cassie asked us to start going to some of the schools with her, it was exciting, scary, all at the same time. Like, what are they going to think? The questions they ask are just...
You're going to kindergartners, first graders?
So far we've been kindergarten to third.
And the school districts that are participating?
So we've been to Wappingers, Arlington, Pauling, Millbrook.
Uh-huh.
So this year, I'm not sure if you've seen anything, but the fair has a new program, and it's Adopt a Calf.
Yes.
So Jenna and Justin and Jason have been making videos, and they send them out. We send them to Cassie, and she sends them out to the schools. And then the kids wrote us letters, and they want to know more. So they want to see pictures of the mom. They want to know how the cows milk. They want to know where they sleep. They want to...
What their names are?
But no question that you would just be like thinking a kindergartner's asking. These are legit, real questions. So we're actually going to make another video tomorrow because the kids will all be home and feeling good. And Cassie's told me 60 to 70 classes. That's a lot. And anything from Kingston to Westchester, from Weebatuck, Red Hook down to here, Arlington. We're giving them the opportunity for us to bring the calf to the school like we have been, or they could come here, or maybe we'll be at the fairgrounds one day, depending.
Welcome bus tours or?
Yeah, so the kids that are watching this video and participating, if their school allows them, they could come here to meet the calves.
Wow.
And see what goes on.
That's really incredible. So this is just in the infancy stage, but it sounds like it's really taking off, and that's exciting. I mean, it's exciting that other districts are adapting and expressing interest. And you're right, how critical and how important it is to start at a very early age. And you're actually bringing a calf, or you're just showing a video, or?
So for right now, every month until May, they'll see a video of whatever. Like the first one we introduced, Sweet Treat, that's the calf.
Sweet Treat?
Yeah. And then talked about baby calf care. Mm-hmm. And so now we're going to answer back their questions in the next video. Mm-hmm. Some have asked if they could see a baby be born. We'll see. Yeah. But I'm certainly up to it. I guess you'd have to ask the parents' permission. And then come May, Cassie will schedule whichever ones we need to go to the district. We'll take the calf in the trailer. We have some milking cows that we made out of wood that go along with us, and go meet all the kids. And if not, and if they want to come here on a trip, then they're welcome to do that.
That's great. It's a huge commitment on your part, and your investment of sharing your story and your farm it's just very admirable. So thank you for doing that. I just want to kind of wrap up a little bit and talk. Well, first, before I wrap up, I just want to speak to what are the biggest challenges facing dairy farmers today, and is this sustainable, and what obstacles are there that maybe we can address or try to break down to support the future of agriculture here in the county?
I want to say the biggest obstacles are the costs of everything. Yeah. When we're getting paid less money for our milk than we were 10 years ago right now, but everything else, our electric, our oil, all our costs have gone way up.
And why is that? Let's educate the audience as to why you're being paid less. Is it subsidized? Is it what?
comes off the price of cheese in the Chicago market.
I know that market.
So how does that have anything to do with the price of milk in Dutchess County, New York? So if I could say anything, I would say just please keep supporting local for everything. Right. Your vegetables, your beef, it's staying here. It's helping us to survive.
For sure. So when we talk about like the future of farming and is it a sustainable model, or are you really concerned about the financial aspect of all the things going up, and are there things that you can do to diversify, or is it really through education and community outreach to try to get your community to support the local?
I think if the kids really wanted to do it, probably diversifying would be a good thing, because they're two separate people. And even Jason, if he ever wanted, I think they could do it, but they just need to bring in some other avenues of, like, I think the ag education would help. It's hard with the parkway right there. We've never wanted to like really open up a stand because I'm nervous about my kids. But do I think it could really move product? Yeah. So maybe now that they're older, I don't know. I still have one little guy. So my kids are more valuable than $1. So
I get it. All right. So we've really talked about a lot. Is there anything you want to share that I didn't ask, or any question, stone unturned, or anything? Because I want to at least give you the opportunity to.
I just want the public to know, don't Google. If you drive past and see like a cow that doesn't look right to you, stop in and knock on the barn door and be like, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about, but can you help me? Like, why is she standing off by herself? Maybe she's having a calf. Maybe she hurt herself. Maybe just stop in and don't be afraid. Like, we would rather talk to you than have the news show up wondering why. Because I did see that across the river this past with cold weather with calf hutches.
Yeah.
We all care about our animals. We wouldn't be doing this, living this like crazy life sometimes if we didn't.
That's very powerful what you're saying. I totally support it 100%. And you're right. You care. You call them your kids.
Yeah.
They're your family. They're an extension of your family, and their well-being is critically, foundationally important to your farms and businesses' success. So engaging the public or the community or helping them understand what's going on is that's welcoming. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much to the DeForest and Lawrence family for sharing the story of Stormfield Swiss Farm and giving us a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to run a successful multi-generational dairy farm. Their commitment to agriculture, family, and community truly reflects the spirit of the Dutchess County Fair and the values that make our region so special. This is just the beginning of our Legacy of Agriculture and Community podcast. In upcoming episodes, we'll continue to highlight the farms, families, and organizations that help preserve our agricultural heritage and bring our community together. I'm Suzanne Rajczi, and I look forward to showcasing more of the people and the stories that make the Dutchess County Fair and our local agriculture such a lasting legacy. Until next time, thank you for listening. We look forward to you sharing and commenting on this podcast series and helping us share our story.